I would read magazines when I was a kid. I don't know, maybe fashion just is in the blood. My cousins were really conservative. They would look at me and my mother and be like, oh my God, like they're so freaky. I just don't care what anybody else says. I just do what I want to do.
Lauren Ezersky is a fashion icon and former TV host of Behind the Velvet Ropes from 1989 to 2012. If you were a fashion lover in the 90s and the early 2000s, she was the one to watch, interviewing every major fashion designer in the country and giving us all at home a behind-the-scenes look into the fashion industry. From Fashion Week to New York's Fashion District, Lauren was there, asking all of the questions we were dying to know in that charming Yonkers accent we know and love. Interviewing Lauren as my first guest was truly a dream come true. I started watching her when I was 4. Yes, that's right, 4 years old. She is one of my favorite fashion personalities of all time, and I'm so excited to share our conversation with you. Enjoy.
Well, hello, how are you?
I'm doing so great. Thank you so much for being on the show.
You're so cute. I love your hair. Look at
Thank
you.
You know, I'm trying to channel my inner Anna Wintour, you know.
I don't know about that, but just be yourself. You don't need to be anybody else but you know.
I love it. I love it. But this is truly a dream come true. And you are actually my first interview. I have some others lined up. But you are the first, and you
the first interview that you've ever done on anything?
Oh, no. My first podcast interview. I have interviewed other folks, but you know, you have truly been the inspiration for me since you started your career on TV, doing Behind the Velvet Ropes. When I tell you, I would literally watch for hours.
You must have been 2 years old then, though. You're so young.
89, I was 4, literally. So
you were 4 years old watching fashion.
Yes,
oh, honey, you're a victim already. You're a victim. I love it. Like me.
I mean, obsessed. Like I would literally design and watch your show. And watch your show. And my parents thought I was crazy, and I was like, you don't get it, you know.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Colton, California, Southern California.
Oh, well, there you go. California, it's a wasteland of non-fashion. Forget it. Forget it.
I know, but my parents are actually from New York. My mother's from the Bronx, so we would go up to Co-op
City. The Bronx?
City.
My parents are from the Bronx. Oh my God.
I
know it well. Where in the Bronx?
So my grandmother, before she passed away, was in Co-op City, but before that, they grew up in South Bronx.
I love Co-op City. All the Jews went to Co-op City. I love that.
I love it. I love New York. I love your work. I'm so excited to have you.
Well, I want to just even discuss this. Like, I love New York, and all these whiny people are like, oh, New York is over. You know, it's finished. And that is just so not true. New York is the most amazing place in the universe.
Yes.
And, you know, things will pick up. It's a little slow now. But if you can't make it in New York, then just forget it. You know, like, exactly. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere, as they say.
It's true.
So, all these people that say that New York is dead or whatever because of their pandemic and everything else is just not true. Agreed. It's the greatest city for fashion, for, you know, the arts, museums, culture. It's great. I love it.
I love it too. It's my favorite.
And I'm never leaving. So unless it's feet first in a box, that's it.
Well, I know you spent a little time in Japan, but you know, we'll
circle back. I did with my husband, my first husband.
Yes. And you know what I found so interesting just looking through all of that, and I wasn't sure if I was going to bring it up today or not, but you really emphasize, you know, he just didn't get it. And I think that sometimes fashion people, like, you know, whether it's a parent or a partner, sometimes they don't understand.
Wait, you're talking? No, my first husband got it. He was into fashion.
Yeah, it was.
You're confused because I've had 3 husbands, so it's understandable.
Wait, this might be number 2.
No, this is number 3 you're talking
about.
Number 3. Yeah, I know it's very confusing. I'm confused myself. So, no, first husband I was in Japan with, but he was totally into fashion, like Yoji, Comme des Garçons. He got it. Second husband was into fashion. Third one, put on like a red sock and a blue sock just because they were clean. Like he did not get it at all.
Sounds like
he didn't care, but it's okay. That was fine.
But, like for people who are surrounded by those folks, like, the parents and the partners who are just like, what in the world? Like, do you have any advice for them? Like, do you find your tribe? Like, how did you sort of navigate that? You have a great friend group.
That's really interesting. I believe that I guess I have my tribe and my friends, but when I guess it comes to a mate, you just can't expect everything. And if somebody treats you good and they're not like the perfect fashion plate, because fashion is a little bit shallow. I mean, I love fashion, don't get me wrong, but it's not the most important thing. Someone that's kind to you, that's honest to you, that's the most important thing than someone that dresses, who cares at the end of the day?
Absolutely.
Whatever. So, my friends are more fashiony than my mates were, I guess you could say. Because that just didn't play a very huge role. I really like when guys look great, but it wasn't the end all. Because if someone treats me nice and they're good to me and they're fabulous and whatever, then that's great. And you can always zhuzh them up a little bit,
That's true.
You can zhuzh them up a little bit.
I love that. Yeah, you just drop things here and there, which I love. Really quick question. How in the world did, a woman from Yonkers with your accent and your big personality land this iconic show talking about fashion and interviewing folks? And what I love about just the course of your career is that you've interviewed folks who were working on the sales floor all the way up to, the greats like Michael Kors. So like, how did that even happen for you?
Well, to make a really long story short, there was a show that went on called Behind the Velvet Ropes, and I was asked to be just a guest on it. And it was on cable access. So I went on as a guest, and the night that I went on, they had a fashion girl. I think it was only 2 episodes they had done, and she had an argument or whatever, and she left. And they asked me if I would want to do fashion, and I said, yeah, why not? So my first interview was Francesco Scavullo, who did all the covers of Cosmo magazine, because I knew his stylist. So he gave me access, and I was just terrible my first interview. But you know what? He was gracious, and it just worked out really great. And I did that show for 5 years, and then everybody left because we weren't making any money at it.
Yeah.
And then people kept asking, where's your show? Where's your show? So I said, I'm going to go get some money and do it. And I went to Moet and Chandon, the champagne company, and they were in the process of getting into fashion and sponsoring fashion. And they said yes. And that was it. So then I wound up doing a show by myself that was pretty much, all fashion. Because when I started, I did fashion, someone did music, and someone else did movies and entertainment. So I was just one of 3. But then I turned it into all fashion and lifestyle, whatever.
Wow. I love the fact that you were like, you know what? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to find the money and I'm going to keep it going.
In this time anyway, you have to just do your own thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do your podcast, but you just do it.
Yeah.
It's not like there's people going to give you millions of dollars, but if you feel passion for something, you just do it.
Absolutely. And you were like knocking on doors when you first started up.
Oh yeah.
Before social media, all of that.
I knocked very heavily. Not that gently. I was pretty assertive. I don't want to use the word aggressive, but I was pretty assertive.
Yeah.
And you had to get the interview. You had to get what you wanted. And but don't forget, I was one of the first ones there. There wasn't so many different, places to have fashion. Like there wasn't, a bazillion internet sites and social media. There was like none of that, very little of that, if any. I can't remember. I think there was maybe one fashion show, if at all.
Wow.
That was the Style Channel with Elsa Kling.
Yeah. Love.
So she was on for a long time. But no, I just kind of broke down barriers, and I was ahead of my time because of my accent, because the way I looked and the way I dressed. I was not as accepted from the people that could really help my career. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
The people in the offices of television programming and all that.
Yeah.
So it was really hard. It was hard, but I just did it. And, I did it for 15 years, whatever. And now I'm like semi-retired. If something comes up, like I just did a shoot for this As If magazine.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Where I was the model. I love it. I was the model.
Yes.
Seriously, the model. And they put me in all this great, like sexy, fabulous, beautiful, like Dolce Gabbana and amazing and Max Mara, really beautiful clothes.
Oh my, is this out?
No, it's coming out. Some will be in September on the internet, and then I think October will be the book edition.
Oh, I have to get that.
Because it's two. Yeah, it's called As If. It's a really beautiful magazine.
Oh my gosh.
You should check that out anyway. Everyone should check it out. It's really great.
I love it. Doing it on my list for sure. So, I know that you also wrote for Paper Magazine.
I did that for like
Lauren.
a decade. Yeah, that was really fun. That enabled me to get access to a lot of different people also, because everybody loved Paper Magazine.
I love it.
So, I got everybody because of Paper also. I did Karl Lagerfeld, and then he got to know me, so then I did him for Velvet Ropes. So it was really a door opener also. And I love Paper. I still love them. I know Kim and David forever. I don't know. I haven't really seen it in a while.
Yeah.
But I think they're still printing. They're still doing it.
Yeah. All the cool girls, I felt like all the cool editors worked at Paper. Like all of the hip girls who were like, in the know with the emerging designers and knew what was next.
Vogue was great. I just read Andre Leontali's book, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
But Vogue, the girls at Vogue that worked in Vogue didn't really dress super fashiony. They were very conservative, most of them, if you look at them.
Yeah.
So really, to me, the people at Paper and some of the other underground papers, whatever you want to call them, or magazines, were kind of more into fashion. I feel like we discovered some of the younger designers, pretty fast, or we at least profiled them faster than Vogue.
Right.
Absolutely. Vogue picked up on them, but not till after we had already done something on them.
Love that.
I think I think I was one of the first that, covered people.
Yeah. Yeah. Like how in the world did you get that job? I know, but the listeners may not know how you landed your gig at Paper Magazine.
Kim, I went to Kim because everyone's like, oh, you should write a column, blah, blah, blah. And so I went to her and I said, hey, I want to do this column. And she's like, go interview Donna Karan. If you can interview her and I like it, I'll print it. And I said, okay. And I called Donna company and I got an interview somehow. And I interviewed her. And I guess Kim liked it. And that's how I got into Paper.
That is amazing. And, it's so interesting. Just for my research, I see that you are also a bookworm who likes to read.
I love to read. I haven't been reading so much because there's so many like Netflix and Amazon, all these really great programmings on.
Yeah.
But I was a voracious reader. When I was a kid, I used to go to the library after school and read. And reading just takes you to all these different places in the world. You can visit anywhere, India and Africa and Turkey and Israel and Greece. You can go anywhere because books are set in other, countries. It's great.
Yeah, I love it.
I do love to read.
Do you have a favorite?
Well, I always love Vanity Fair. I always read Vanity Fair because it's kind of high class gossip.
Yeah.
I like that. I do like The New Yorker. Mm-hmm. That's a little, serious. What else do I really like? Some of the fashion magazines. Yeah. I like New York Magazine.
Me too.
It's really great. Whatever. I'm just always interested in something. I love National Geographic.
Yeah.
I have this really eclectic taste.
It's beautiful.
It's really beautiful. I love to see where, the countries are, what they look like, and the people, the indigenous people.
Yeah.
And then be like, oh, I want to go there,
Yeah.
So, I've been on safari a couple times, which I love. That was amazing. So, yeah, I think reading opens up a whole new, door for you, a whole new world. I think everybody should read.
Are we going to see a book from you anytime soon on your life?
No, I pitched a few things and nobody seemed really interested. So I guess not, unless somebody wants something eventually.
They just
so
don't
you can
know
be
what's
my
going
agent
on.
if you find anybody that wants a book from me.
Oh, I will, Lauren. Don't you challenge me. I will.
I am challenging you. I am.
I love it so much. I'm so glad that you brought up Andre's book because I'm actually a really big fan of his first book, ALT, his first memoir.
I didn't read the first one.
So good. So good. And I actually had a chance to randomly talk to him about it. I was like, oh my God, I love that book. But one of the things that I love about it is that he talks about luxury and just how it was integrated in the way that he grew up and whether it was clean sheets like that were pressed, just these little details in life that sometimes we overlook. So I'm here, and his grandmother was a big influence. So I'm wondering, was there anyone in your life or someone or something growing up for you that was very inspirational for you?
That's really good. Not at all. My mother, when she was young, was really into fashion, but I don't really remember her then. I always went out and bought, like I would always have a job and I would make, minimum wage and I would just go out and buy the most expensive pair of shoes that, I could find that I love. Yeah. So I've always really been into it. I don't know. I would read magazines when I was a kid and look at all the models and the hair and makeup people and just be, oh my goodness, I would love to be in this business. But I don't know, maybe fashion just is in the blood. It just finds you.
Absolutely.
Because I can't say that anyone in my family, like really no one was really that fashiony.
Yeah.
They were all really conservative.
Wow.
My cousins were really conservative. They would look at me and my mother and be like, oh my God, like they're so freaky. My family's freaky because we dress so interesting. But,
I love it.
I just don't care what anybody else says. I just do what I want to do.
Absolutely.
And I think everybody should.
You have a very signature look, but you mix it up. How did you define your style?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. What do you think my signature look is?
I feel like you're playful. Black is definitely a staple for you, but you bring in color.
I'm wearing green. I'm wearing khaki. Oh my goodness.
I know. I was like, what? But you bring in color in a very interesting way. Things are very structured in unique ways. But, it always has like a little edge to it. Even if you're in like a tweed number, there's something edgy, whether it's the jewelry or the hair. Well,
I love jewelry. So even if I'm wearing jeans, which I don't really wear that often, I love my jewelry and my earrings and my makeup. So that's like a given. That's me. And then everything else is kind of just the peripheral.
Absolutely.
Whatever. But I do love my stuff. Jewelry I always wear, and I always love makeup. I very rarely go out. More now, I've been doing it a little bit with like less eye makeup and stuff.
Yeah.
But I do love my makeup. That's a given.
I love it. So what are your thoughts now with, the pandemic, being in quarantine? New York was really hit hard with everything.
I know. Well, I was home for, like a month straight practically. And I didn't even go out only to get food, and not even every day. And that was really hard. Now it's, going out more and I take a walk. I have my friend Sandy Linter, who's a makeup artist. We walk to Central Park.
Oh, love.
And you should interview her sometime. She's great. We walk to Central Park and we feed the animals. We find little, like the fish and the turtle and the squirrels and the birds, whatever. So we're going out more, but, obviously still being cautious because you still have to be.
It's crazy.
But I think New York is a little better. I mean, they say there's going to be another wave pandemic. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
well, anyway. It's crazy because now I've been seeing some very prominent PR folks in our little chat rooms saying, oh, fashion is dead and, New York Fashion Week is over and we're all going to be wearing sweatpants now with Birkenstocks and Crocs. What are your thoughts just in terms of that reaction? It seems like everyone's panicking a bit, but I'm
well, my
curious to
thoughts
know
are that
what you
is
think.
ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous because you know what? Even I'm in Hudson now, I'm upstate, and I still dress nice.
Yeah.
You know, I still look good. So, I mean, people that are into fashion are loving fashion and they're always going to, and they're always going to make an effort and look good. People that don't care about fashion, that are slobs, will always be slobs and look like slobs. This is just another excuse to let them slide, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that most people that are revere fashion and love it are still going to look good. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I will. I can speak for myself.
Yeah.
And I know my other friends that are into fashion, like even when I go out with my friend Sandy to Central Park, she's done up. She's got her makeup on. She's got her false eyelashes on. She's got, you know, a cute skirt, and she's done to go in Central Park. And we're just like, you know, feeding birds and whatnot, but she's done. So I think people that are into it will be into it, and that's not going to change.
So are we not into athleisure right now on your...
We've never been to athleisure. We've never been into athleisure. I mean, the only time I work out is like when I pick up my phone. I'm like,
love it.
But no, I mean, I get that. I get it. And I would dress nice if I was working out. And I really should start going to the gym, but now you really can't because of what's going on. But no, I'm not a leggings and t-shirt kind of girl. Really, I've never just been that. I love beautiful dresses and beautiful accessories and shoes. And I don't see that that's going to change.
Well, thank you.
I don't see why it has to.
That was very helpful for me because I've been seeing, you know, I've seen myself slowly like, like maybe those velour, like, you know, sweatpants, you know, by Versace. Like maybe I could incorporate that. I'm like, no. This pandemic is not going to last forever. Do not invest in that.
No. I mean, if you really like them, then get them. But I don't think it's something that I will not be wearing. I don't care who it is, you know, whatever. I mean, I still am going to dress nice.
Absolutely.
And that's my plan as of now.
I love that. Now, I know you don't always speak on your favorite designer interview, but do you have an interview that you truly loved throughout your career? You know what?
Actually, no. Seriously, I'm not just saying that. Everybody that I've interviewed was really interesting. Everybody had something totally different to say. And no, I mean, I really like everyone I interviewed, from the most famous. Like I've interviewed Karl Lagerfeld, and then I interviewed a designer called Epperson. I've interviewed, I don't know, like just you name it, like Emmanuel Ungaro, whatever. And then like some smaller, you know, Indian designers. So no, I really like designers. I think they're really interesting. I think they're really smart. I think they're really talented. So I really can't say that anything's been my favorite. I really enjoy everyone that I talk to.
Absolutely. It's weird. I'm the same way. I just feel like everyone has a story. Everyone has, you know, various challenges that they've overcome. And again, it's not the same. Everyone has something different, which I love. So, really quick question for you. What would you say is your favorite fashion moment of all time? It can be personal, or it can be something that you witnessed.
Wow, that's really hard. I'm going to say that I went to a Galliano couture show in Paris. And it was for Dior, when he was working for Dior. And I mean, I really didn't see that much couture, but I went one season, and that show was just beyond. You know, for me, the dresses would be unaffordable because they were just thousands and thousands and thousands. But to see that level of workmanship and, you know, every detail, the hair and the makeup, it was so beautiful. So I would say that was like a highlight. But, you know, all my interviews, I met him, I interviewed him. Like, I just enjoy what I do, and I enjoy what I did. So, you know, that was a highlight. But, you know, I don't know. I can't say that I really have one special. There's been many years of many interesting people and many interesting interviews. So that wouldn't do them justice to say you can't just pick one.
You can't.
You know, you can't.
You really can't. I love it. So did you spend a lot of time in Paris at the shows? Is that something that you like to do more? Okay.
I went a couple of seasons and I really liked it. But, you know, I never really had a budget for that. You know, that's where I was different than Andre Leontali and all the Vogue girls. They had car pick them up. They had hotels paid for, free room and board, free cleaning.
Yeah.
They were so spoiled. You know, I had none of that. I would have to take the subway to something in Paris, or, you know, just get there on my own, hustle my butt over there. So that was a difference. But, you know, and I enjoyed it, no matter how. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You know? But I was never one of those, you know, I'm fabulous, you know, give me everything for free.
Yeah.
People.
Well, I mean, they got like packages. Love you.
When they went into their hotel room, I heard like they would just get, these Vogue girls would get like packages of free swag, all this stuff. Like, you know, I really didn't get that. But for me, it was just about fashion. I just love talking to the designers, and I love the clothes. So that's all that mattered to me.
Absolutely. And, you know, a lot of folks in the industry know when you send something to the Vogue girls, it's not coming back. It's not coming back. They're just like, write it off. It's the marketing budget. Just write it off.
Well, that was the one thing I was really shocked about, like that everything was paid for them.
Yeah.
I mean, everything, like 20 people could fly to Paris, first class, car services, food, you know, budget, just everything was taken care of. I never had that. And I just think that's, you know, maybe that was partly the ruination of fashion, because you can't make money and just, you know, spend money like that. Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know they cut back now because they have to.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, I think I always got there on my own and paid my own way and whatever, and it was fine.
Absolutely.
But there was a lot of people spoiled in the business too.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that's what we love about you, is that you're so relatable. And one of my favorite clips, I actually shared it on Instagram, where you're running from one appointment in the garment district, and then you're going to, I forget which hotel, hoity-toity hotel, and you jump on the bus with your camera.
We take the bus or the subway, whatever gets us there. You know, if you can't get a taxi, then you just have to go. You know, I tortured my camera people. They just were tortured because, they're filming, holding a camera and going down steps and trying to film me at the same time. But, you know, I had great people working with me.
Yeah.
You know, they were as much part of the show as I was. You know, I give them as much credit. They were great.
I love it. And, you know, I'm curious, what are you up to now?
Well, like I said, I'm kind of semi-retired. I'm not really doing much. If things come up, I will do it. Not that much. I'm just chilling, having fun with my chihuahuas. And
oh my God.
Just enjoying.
Where is Norma Jean?
Oh,
Norma Jean, where are you?
Norma Jean. I have Norma Jean and I have Isadora.
Isadora, where are you, Isadora?
Is a puppy. I don't know where they are. They're just causing trouble somewhere.
They are so adorable.
She's into everything.
I love it. I had a Chihuahua for 15 years. Her name was Precious Brindell McCarthy, named after Jenny McCarthy when she was doing what was it? What was that? What was that show? Singled Out. And she was amazing. She actually died or passed away when Barack Obama.
Jenny McCarthy. Your dog, not Jenny McCarthy.
My dog, yeah. Well, I gave her part of her name.
That's devastating, because
it was hard.
And I'm sure to you, they're like your children.
It was hard. Yeah. It was I was happy, you know, in the moment, you know, just for the, you know, Obama's victory, but it was so sad. And it took me so long to like not talk about it and like not cry, you know.
Are you going to get another one?
You know, my husband is not so thrilled about dogs.
Oh no, that's not good.
But I love dogs. I love my Chihuahua.
Do you love your husband? Because if not, then you better leave and just get a dog.
You're like, okay, let me get a dog. Sorry, babe. I love Chihuahua so much. So when I saw that you also shared that same love, I said, oh my God, we're in.
Yeah, I know. Oh, come here. Here is Isadora. I'm trying to get her.
Isadora, how are you?
Oh my God. Well, no one can see her because we're on the radio or whatever.
I love it. Hi, Isadora. Oh my God, this is so amazing. Cute. You're so beautiful.
Oh, my baby girl. Yeah, I love her.
Oh my goodness.
She's trouble though.
See her. She's adorable.
But I love her.
I love it. Well, you know, we are actually, believe it or not, coming towards the end of our interview, but is there any, just over the course of your life, you've experienced so much, you've seen so much, you're so, I mean, just even as a businesswoman, I can only imagine just the lessons you've learned. What would you say is one of the biggest lessons you've learned working in the industry and just throughout your life in general?
I would just say, honestly, just rely on yourself. Because people, you could ask them for things and they say yes and they don't, come through. Just keep on keeping on and just do your own thing, And if you have someone that's along for the ride, that's great, But in general, I think you just have to keep really busy and really professional, being on time. That's really important to me. And I guess that's it. Just be yourself and don't, let anyone else tell you what to do, what you should do. Just do what you want. And then your passion will come through.
I love it. Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome.
You're an American treasure. I hope you know that.
Oh, you're too sweet.
Thank you. Thanks so much for joining me for this week of A Fashion Moment. If you like what you hear, we'd love for you to join our community of listeners and spread the word about the show. We also want to hear from you. Share your favorite fashion moments and dream guests with us by sending an audio clip or email to afashionmomentpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can tag us on Instagram at A Fashion Moment, and you could be featured on next week's episode. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review and let us know what you think. Until then, see you next time for another fashion moment. Podcast production by Rebecca Rashid and John Taylor Williams. Digital media production by Megan Porras.
This recording carries a Creative Commons 4.0 international license. Thanks to Patrick Patricios for their song, Hot Coffee.